Mmm. Tastes like victory. Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the podcast about stuff and things and stuff that are important to everybody in the world. It's just science. It's just science. Number one podcast about such things proven by people far smarter than either of us and everybody out there. We're not going to question it. Just accept it into your heart of hearts, your soul. Let it marinate. Let it brew. And just embrace it. But welcome back for another episode, another week. We are happy to be here. Proud to be back for another one. And there's no surprise what we're going to be talking about today. There's a game that dropped that we have been eagerly anticipating, and we will touch on it. But before we do that, let's welcome back our esteemed colleague, the one, the only, Mr. Christian.
How's it going, everyone? It feels good to be back for another week. We have plenty to say about a certain game today, so let's jump into it.
All right. But what we like to do to start every episode is talk about what we've been watching, reading, listening to, or playing this past week. So let's let Mr. Christian dive in and talk to us about it.
All right, guys, it's been a busy week for me just with things like, as per usual. But I did get the time to watch shows, or at least some of two shows. I saw an anime last week I think I told you guys about called Gundam Origins. I have officially watched 3 episodes of that, and I do like it. It's really political, not as much action as I would want in a Gundam-style show, but I do enjoy it. It's essentially the backstory of Char, so I do like it. And I'm enjoying what's going on so far. I can't wait to get to the end and then move on to the next thing so I can kind of keep going down the timeline of Gundam. And aside from that, I watched episode 6 of Ahsoka. And guys, to keep it brief, I really, really like this episode. It felt like watching an episode of The Clone Wars again, which was awesome because The Clone Wars is one of the best Star Wars pieces of media that we've ever gotten. And then it has a lot of Rebels in it as well, with Ezra Bridger and whatnot, Thrawn and all that stuff. But I have to say, this kind of episode is what we expect with Star Wars oriented shows. When we're talking about the Force, we're talking about lightsaber battles and all that. Choreography was great. Hayden Christensen was awesome. I know we saw him in
And Christian is gone already. We've already lost Christian. It looks like Christian has disappeared into the Matrix yet again. And, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Christian apparently is having some issues today. Full disclaimer, we did try to record this a couple times a little bit ago on my stream. We were live and we tried to do a live recording, but we kept running this issue, so we went off stream to try to do it, and it looks like he's still having issues. That, or he's just that in love with the Force and the Matrix and all that stuff. But to carry on, this past week, what I did, I've been extremely busy. We had a sick baby last week. We had baby Sin was under the weather, so we were dealing with that. On top of that, once he got better, I have been prepping for music streams, which has proven to be a lot more than I anticipated, and continuing to have new wrenches thrown into stuff. So I've been working on that a lot of extra hours on that. I've also been doing sidecasting for the football games for Monday night and Thursday night, so that's kept me busy. And then throughout the week, I've just been playing a game that we're going to talk about here momentarily. But I've been playing that, and so that has consumed my week. I haven't actually watched any shows or any movies this past week, but I've just been rolling with that. And I'm excited and nervous about the music streams at the same time. I hope they turn out well. It's one of those things I literally have how I want it, how I envision it in my head and how it sounds. But then once I'm having to mess with a lot of settings and get things because it is definitely a different, it takes a lot more to have the music going, and as well as to having the levels right and having it sound right and having more of a professional sound than just me out here just screaming at a microphone, peaking and blowing eardrums and all that stuff. So it's been a lot of work, and I'm slowly working on getting it, and I'll actually be working a lot this weekend trying to get it situated and get it up and functioning so I can make a complete and utter fool of myself on stream probably twice a week. But it's also going to be good practice, and I hope I still can do what I could do back then, and we'll see if I'm even worth a damn anymore, or if I was worth a damn to start with. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. We're going to find out soon. Christian has finally returned from his hiatus. Let's see. Christian, would you like to continue your thoughts on Ahsoka?
Yeah. Really quick, guys. It's a great episode. This is what I want to see from cameos from somebody like Hayden Christensen. The choreography in this episode was fantastic. The lightsaber duels in this episode fantastic. I really like the way that the story opened up. I really like them using the Force in the way that they used it. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about Star Wars content and how good it can be. So I'm hoping that the last few episodes of Ahsoka are the same way. I'm hoping that we get more choreography in this way. Good to see, really fun, really actiony, but in a way that is Star Wars and fantastical. If you haven't been watching Ahsoka, like do yourself a favor and watch it. It's actually pretty good. It's one of the better shows that we've talked about on the podcast in a while because I know we've had some standouts like House of the Dragon and Last of Us, but we talked about some stinkers on here too, guys, and it only deserves its place. And you should give it. So that's what I have to say about that.
Okay. Anything else?
I will say one other thing too. Yeah, one more thing that I've done. Two more things that I've done before we get into other stuff. I've been listening to the Tesseract came out recently called War of Being, and it's top tier for me. I really like it. I know that I'm still in the honeymoon phase of listening to this album. There's only one song on the album right now that I don't really gel with, but everything else is hitting for me, and I have some favorites. My favorite song on the entire album right now is called Legion, closely followed by The Gray, and then after that would be Sacrifice, which is the last song on the album. I'm really, really enjoying this. I love Dan's voice. I love what he does with certain things that he does with his voice. His accent does come out in some songs and some lyrics, but it doesn't bother me at all. And obviously, everybody that plays an instrument in this band is a master at that instrument. So if you want to listen to some people that really know what the fuck they're doing, Resurrect's your band. So I can't praise them enough. I'm going to see them live actually in November, and I'm so excited. They're coming to Nashville, so I'll be there to hear my boys play. And they're playing with intervals too, so
ooh, nice.
It's gonna be a great show.
Very nice. Nice. I need some music to listen to. I need some new stuff. I've been bouncing around. I've been listening to a lot. Honestly, I've been listening to a lot of my old band because I'm trying to remember stuff, and then I've been listening to a lot of Resurrect because I'm just like learning it and all.
Two very great bands to listen to.
Dude, it's. I will say this though. This week is definitely not a feeling I expected. It has been. I'm more nervous doing this than I am if I was to go play a show right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I guess it's because, like, I always got a little bit of butterflies no matter the show. Like, not like I'm scared to go play, more like I'm anxious and I'm ready to get up there and go. Like, it's go time, I'm ready to do this thing. Kind of like excitement. This is like, because, I mean, up there you have your boys, you have your band with you, and then you have, like, people, you see them, you see how they respond, you get the energy back and forth, and it's just that transfer. This is going to be me by myself in a room putting on a show while staring at a screen watching text go. Like, it's going to be so weird. Like, it's I don't know. And so it's making me nervous because I feel obviously I'm very isolated. So it's just pretty much on me, like, all of it. We may have lost Christian again. Oh, no. But, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also nervous about it. It's one of those, like, dual things, I guess. So that's going to bring us to what I've been into, what I've been playing this past week. This past week, a small video game that we may have mentioned once or twice on the podcast has officially released. And that small video game from a small publisher known as NetherRealm Studios dropped a game called Mortal Kombat 1, the latest installment of the Mortal Kombat franchise. I know it's a game most of you don't know anything about. We've definitely barely talked about it on the podcast before, but it is out officially. And I have played nothing but MK this past week. Even though there's other stuff that's come out that I definitely want to play, it is not a priority at the moment. Like, I will get to them, but right now I can't because MK's out and I've been waiting on it. These games, such as The First Descendant, I want to check it out. And Payday 3, because I did like the other Payday game. But MK is out. And this is my favorite fighting game franchise. One of my favorite franchises in all of games. So now that Christian has returned, I am letting everybody know that a small indie game that we may have mentioned once or twice has released called Mortal Kombat 1 from a small studio called NetherRealm Studios. Definitely not a studio that's been around for, God, dude, since I was little.
Well, NetherRealm hasn't been around that long because they got bought out, but or they formed after.
Yeah. Well, MK's been around what? I think it's
yeah.
coming up on. Is it coming up on 30 years? The
30
anniversary's coming up
years.
soon.
Mhm.
Because I saw they were posting about it. Anyways, I played Mortal Kombat 1, and that's what I've been playing. So the other games that I was interested in that have released and have betas and stuff like that, they are put on the back burner until I can slow my roll a little bit in MK. Which has not been the case because every time I play it, I seem to lose track of hours, which is a good sign because I just keep going and keep playing, and I can't really stop, and I don't want to stop. But I don't know how Christian wants to tackle this, but how do you want to go about MK?
I have some thoughts about MK. I've gotten to play MK. I have some thoughts and
first and foremost, have you finished the story?
I have finished the story.
Okay, I finished the story as well, so neither one of us will spoil. If you have not finished the MK story, it is roughly 6.5, 7, maybe 8 hours, depending.
I mean, it took me 4.
And 4, okay, or 4. It's not super long. It's 15 chapters, and yeah, that was literally the first thing I did whenever I got the game. Was the first thing I mainly did was go right into the story. I had to know.
Same.
Okay, so what do you want to start?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start on this? You've played Invasion too, right?
I have. I've played.
Okay, I'm just seeing if we're on the same page on stuff. I have not played an online match against anybody as of recording.
I played all the modes so far. All of them. I test everything out, tried everything out, and I'm gonna just run in. I'm just gonna little breakdown quickly. I wrote some notes. I'm just gonna go into it. I played every single mode, and every mode has a pro and a con. I didn't write down the pros and cons of every mode. I just know that they do have them. Obviously, we got towers are back. You can get the stories for people, and that's exactly what we expected. So no argument there with what's going on. There's invasion mode, which is the new mode after I assume people invasion after they do the story. I assume people are doing towers after they do the main story because it kind of spoils things for you. So that said, I highly recommend that you play the story before you do anything else. It's just you're on you, and it doesn't spoil as much for you. The story mode was really fun. I had a lot of fun with the story. I liked a lot of the changes. I didn't like all of them. I liked all of the changes because we're not worried about spoiling things. Sub-Zero and Scorpion being brothers, I hated when I heard it. I hated it when I heard it. I didn't think it was cool. I was like, well, who are they going to be? What are the brothers? And I tried really hard not to look into things before the game dropped because I wanted to be as surprised as I could be. With that said, the brothers are Bihan and Kuai Liang, which those are the Sub-Zero brothers.
Right.
But they just made Kuai Liang Scorpion in this game.
Yep.
And that was weird at first. It was very weird because I was like, well, the Lin Kuei, that's the Ice Clan. That's kind of what they do. The Grandmaster is the Ice Master. They have all these come in, but as you play the game and see them interact with each other, the first thing I thought, as soon as they pop on screen and they come in as antagonists, and you see Kuai Liang, you see Bihan being Sub-Zero number 1. We'll just call him Sub-Zero 1. And then you have Kuai Liang, who is Scorpion in this game, who was the Sub-Zero that we follow throughout all of the other games, right? The one with the scar on his face. And this one, you see how he gets his scar. You see how the clan split. You see that immediately Bihan is a problem. He's a problem 100% when you start the game. He's an asshole, just destined to be an asshole. So we have that going on. Aside from that, the only game in Mortal Kombat history where Scorpion has been my favorite over Sub-Zero. The only game. It's never been this. And this is weird for me because I am a hardcore Sub-Zero fan, but in this game, he is not my favorite. And it's not just the story mode; it's the way that he plays. He's too clunky. His combos awesome when you can get them off, but to learn him is very weird in this game. It's very feels like playing Mortal Kombat Deception and a little bit of Deadly. He was more stiff with his movements. It's like that. But when you do learn his combos, they look great. But this is the first time I like Scorpion more. That's insane for me. I never thought that would happen ever in a Mortal Kombat game ever. But I just like him. I just like him more. Those are fluid. The teleport isn't nearly as cheap as it has been, so I can deal with it more. Like I like doing it now because it's the only cheap teleport move that I really enjoyed was back Justice One. Sin, you know all about that, I'm sure. But
Yep.
moving on from the story, like it kind of goes the way that you would think it would go. Like nothing really surprising happens in it for the reveal at the end, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect. I didn't expect to because we're not worried about spoilers. I did not expect Shang Tsung from the other Mortal Kombat 11 history to come into this one and pose as Kronika and do all this stuff. I didn't expect that, so that was really cool to see. I really like that. I enjoyed it. And then at the end of the game, you get to choose who you want to play to beat the final mission. I just chose Liu Kang because I thought it would look better for the story. But you literally could have chose fucking anyone, and I played myself by not just choosing.
Did you play it a second time right after?
I didn't.
I did.
I wanted to play other modes because
I was doing it live, and everyone was telling me there's a part where it's different mixed up Mortal Kombat characters. And they said it changes every time. So I was like, no shit. And so they were like, you should play it again second time. Plus, there's an achievement for playing it a second time. So I was like, all right. That was a fun final chapter anyway. So I played it again. And there were some similar characters, but then there were some different ones. I was like, ooh, what is this one? And so I really enjoyed it. I played it a second time. I did Kenshi the first time and Rain the second time.
Okay. I do not like Rain in this game. I will say that off the bat.
I think I might like Sub-Zero better than Scorpion. Not character. Bihan is a dick and he's definitely evil, and I think Bihan's just gonna be evil no matter what happens. Like he's always gonna err on the side of like evil. I don't know. Scorpion to me feels weird still. I haven't played Scorpion a lot just because when I did play him he felt a little weird and I was like, eh. Which I haven't played a lot of Sub-Zero, but I feel a little more comfortable with him than I do Scorpion at this moment.
That's fair.
And Rain is different. Like his stuff is different, but I don't mind it. I actually kind of like Rain.
Okay. Rain, I don't like. He is one of the characters that I absolutely probably will never play with, unless they make me. Like I don't.
Natara is probably one I'm probably not going to play with.
Who?
Natara.
Okay.
Who?
Did you say Katana?
Natara? Megan Fox?
Oh, Natara. It was weird. It sounded like Natara, but you said Natara. Yeah, I played 2 matches with Natara to see what she played like, and it's not really my jam, but I will play with her because I've looked at some of the builds you can make with her, and they look dope as fuck. So I really want to get some of her customizable stuff. So I'll play with her just for that. And yeah, I don't like Megan Fox being the voice of her. When you're playing the story mode, it's like Ronda Rousey in Mortal Kombat 11.
Awful.
She doesn't sound like any of the other characters. She sounds wholly different.
It's awful.
Like she doesn't sound like she's in Mortal Kombat at all. And it is awful. So Joe came around, and to listen to watch me play the game, and stuff, things were different. Why are they brothers? Why is this happening? And I was, telling her about the story because she didn't come in like right at the beginning, and she was like, "Is that Megan Fox? She sounds terrible." And I was like, "Yeah."
Her voice lines are so I feel like she's just like half-assing them. Like there's no emotion, there's nothing. It's just like, our kind needs to drink blood. And I'm like, what the? Get out of here. Like, everybody else sounds so good, and you sound like ass.
We're in the game. For an example, Sub-Zero, Bihan, would say something like, your kind are bloodsuckers that have to be exterminated. Like, he would say it like that. And she would say, we just have to feed on blood. Like, it sucks. Terrible.
It's really, really bad. Like, everybody else's voice acting to me in the game thus far, has been good. Like, I enjoyed it. Every time she has a line or popped on the screen, I was like, oh, God. Like, oh, my God. Like, it was immediately like, no, just stop. Please stop.
I like the way she looks in the game. She looks great.
No, yeah, the character looked awesome, and I want to like her. I did learn a few little combos with her, but I still don't really – I don't vibe with it, the character. And then her voice lines are awful.
Yeah, let me hop back into the modes of the game. So I played a couple, and the connection like today is not the best. It's 2 rounds, so I did because the character just didn't move, and I got beat up. So whatever. And then I played a couple of ranked matches just to see, and I played one guy who played Smoke, and he did the same combo and teleport the entirety of our matches.
You want to hear what
When
I've
that
heard
happens,
about
you run into
online?
people who did it.
And this is coming from
In
two
just a
people.
second.
Two
In
people
just a
that have
second.
played online. You're
Yeah,
going
I
to
do
see a
want to hear it,
shitload
but
of smoke.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's what they said. That's all you're mostly seeing is smoke. And I was like, well, that makes me not want to play smoke. If everybody's playing smoke.
I fought Smoke and I fought Sub-Zero, and that's it. That's literally all I played. And I played a few matches just because I wanted to I didn't know how to do combos and shit, like anything. I was just like, let me just hop in here and see how are. And the people that I fought haven't been really good at the game. They just play Smoke, and he to block sometimes. And he has one of his special moves is literally an anti-air. So if you try to close the gap by jumping, and you're automatically getting an anti-air, and it turns into a teleport. And if you try to just dash up, he has another teleport for that. So he's hard to get around, and it's annoying. I'll figure it out, but it's right now. And I didn't have a favorite character at the time. But the online needs a little bit of work, but it's still fun. The invasion mode. Hear me out. I think invasion mode is a concept. I think that it is a lot of fun, but it is a fucking grind. It is a grind. And I know that you're playing it right now, and I think you're at the festival world,
Yes.
right? I'm asked you because I've been grinding the shit out of that mode. But I will tell you right now, dude, like pick a cameo character and just use them. Don't switch unless you have to.
No,
Because
I'm maxing out. I think Scorpion's the one I had. I started with probably Serena, and then I unlocked Scorpion. I was like, I'm gonna do that, and I'm just kind of stuck with Scorpion. I think I'm just gonna stay until he gets max, and then I'll go to another one in Invasion.
Yeah, I got Shijinko, I got Mataro just yesterday, as of the time it's recording, and like I honestly, bro, I'm just using Kung Lao right now because he has a teleport, which helps me close the gap, and move that spins and hits them if they're close enough. Which, honestly, I just use so people will get the hell off me.
Yeah.
So that's how. Hold on 1 second. Anyway, but the cameo stuff, dude, like leveling them up is such a grind. Leveling your characters up is such a grind, and that's how you get costumes. That's how you get customizable items, right, for your characters. That's how you get new masks, new clothes, new colors, new palettes, blah blah blah. I'm playing the invasion mode because of that, not because I like invasion, but because I want those outfits. I want those things. That's what makes a game fun to me. That's what keeps me coming back. But like I said, it is, you get the secret fights and the ambushes that you come across. Like playing Pokemon. You're walking the map one place to another place. You have to do a lot of backtracking because you got to find keys and shit. You got to solve puzzles, some to go back and forth. And with that said, getting ambushed when you're trying really hard to get to the next spot because you're trying to get this part or to a new level through a portal, it gets real annoying. It gets really annoying, and you'll come across that here soon.
I've already been ambushed a lot, and it's whatever.
Yeah, and you get secret fights when you do fatalities on characters to win or brutalities to win. Like you'll get a secret fight because you did well. You know what I'm saying? So that's when those pop up more. So if you do a lot of fatalities to end fights, you'll get more secret fights. So I do fatalities a whole lot when I'm playing this because I'm trying to just get through it. So I just literally throw somebody or punch them and then move on. And it piss me off. Then I'll do a fatality because I hate them. But with that said, characters. As at the time of this recording today, I have 3 characters that I like to use. That doesn't mean I know to use them. I just like them. Just for clarification. Those 3 characters are in order. Reptile is number 1 for me right now. He is my favorite so far. Number 2, Shang Tsung. He's a DLC character technically because you have to get him by pre-ordering the game. Shang Tsung's number 2, and number 3 is a character that you actually said that I was gonna like, and it ended up being true, which is Reiko. I really like Reiko. I don't know how to play Reiko yet. I just like him. And then the first character I started playing, honestly, when I was online and shit and doing all that stuff, the only character I was playing was Shao. He was my favorite character until I started playing with Reptile. And then I just started playing with Shang Tsung, and then I started playing with Reiko, and I like them a lot. But General Shao is probably going to be my second or third favorite character, just because he plays just like I want a character to play in games like this. Big, heavy hitter, kind of slow, but not too slow. And he has really, really fun combos. I got to say, his fatality is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. It is so silly, but sometimes it's fun, you know. I've seen Havoc's fatality, at least the original one, and it's my favorite thing in the world. But when people do it to you, it's really annoying. And Reiko's is kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. Shao Kahn's, Shang Tsung's. This is fine. I don't mind him at all. And it makes sense, especially for his character. If you've played the story, it makes perfect sense for him. And I've done a few others, and some are better than others, but whatever. With that said, though, cameo characters. I complained a lot about cameo characters before the game came out. And guys, I gotta say, playing this game now, dude, I have the same feelings. I don't really like the cameo characters that much. They really get on my fucking nerves. But they're not as bad as I thought they were gonna be. I will say that. I have calmed down a lot on them. I do miss just straight up 1v1 combat. I have to say, I miss that so much because cameo characters will make or break a match for you. And it's so annoying because you have the fatal blows that are already broken as hell. Then you have the cameo characters who, some of them have 2 moves they can do pretty much back to back. Some of them only have 1 move they can do because they take up their whole meter, like Goro, for an example. But like Darius and Goro, actually, if you use them correctly, those cameo characters are so effing cheap, y'all. Like, oh my god, it's so annoying. But you'll see it as you play the game, and if you haven't played it, you'll see it just watching people play or listening to me bitch about it. But I do have some favorite characters right now. Those are Sector, Kung Lao. Goro is cool if you use him correctly, and Darius is also cool if you use him correctly. But I gotta say, Darius is like hit or miss. He's either really cool to use or really annoying to Sin. I don't know who your favorites are, but that's what I've come across playing this.
As far as cameos,
there are some problems. Yeah,
cameos. The most annoying at the moment for me is Jax. I swear to God, every time I go against Jax,
oh my god,
Jax in that damn smash, he smashes like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, will you please stop? Just stop. He gets on my nerves.
And you can only block it if you jump, but if you jump, that's opening you up for the player or the computer.
So every time he jumps on the screen, I'm like, oh my god, just go on, just leave me alone. Jax has been super annoying. Who else? None of the others really are. None of them are really bothering me too bad right now. Like Goro, I kind of usually just get around him. Jax is the one that annoys me. And others I kind of just deal with. They don't really affect me. Kung Lao, every time he does his little teleport, I end up just knocking the shit out of both of them. I see it, and I'm like, as soon as I see him load up for the teleport, I'm like, all right, ready. Just knock the hell out of him. Cameos don't really bother me. They can obviously screw up strings. That can be annoying if I'm working on a string. Like, how do I want to do this combo? And then they break it up. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I had that set up, and then you just ruin it for me. But that's their purpose, I understand. So it doesn't really bother me. It is a slow grind to level them in Invasion. I noticed that. I think my Scorpion's only maybe a level 4 or 5. And I was like, damn, I figured I'd be way higher than that. Because my character level... Because it rolls all your characters. So, like, say if you were in there playing as General Shao and then you're like, well, I'm going to go to Reptile, you stay the same level and you keep the attributes and stuff for that as far as, like, overall Invasion level. But the cameos is going pretty slow. But it's whatever. Like, I'm just kind of rolling through Invasion. Just, honestly, probably because I'm live and just talking while I do it. It makes it go better for me because I'm just bullshitting and then fighting people. Do you want to know my 3 characters right now? Which is weird. I can't remember who we picked. I'm trying to remember who we picked that we thought. Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
My three that I think I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna say it's probably 4 right now. That to me right now are the ones that I'm determined to learn. Slash, some of them I know a little better than others. But coming in at 4-3, I'm gonna put them together. Are Rain and Reptile. Reptile, I will go ahead and say this. This version of Reptile in this game is the best version of Reptile. I love this version of Reptile so much.
Same.
I love the human form.
Same.
I love him looking like a ninja, but he transforms into the lizard. Like, you do certain moves and it pops out. It's fantastic. I love everything about it. I really, really dig Reptile. Also, he plays awesome. He's so fun to play. I really like Reptile in this game a lot. Rain is fun. I need to learn more on him. It's kind of weird in parts, but I actually kind of like Rain, even with the changes. So he's one that right now is staying on that cusp of being in my rotation. My top 2 is my boy Kenshi is up there. And I was scared when I played him in the beta. I was like, am I going to like him? Like, is he going to be in my rotation, or am I actually going to have to neglect him? Loved him in the story. He pulled on my heartstrings in the story. It was an awesome, awesome thing with him. Loved his chemistry with Johnny. Playing him, I'm feeling more and more confident. I'm finding more and more strings. I'm liking Kenshi a lot. And then Havoc. Havoc is my other dude. Straight up looking like something out of Evil Dead, bashing the piss out of everything. Rips off his armor, just beats the hell out of you with it. It's so savage. I'm coming up with some combos, and I'm liking Havoc a lot. Havoc is up there for me. So those, and then as far as cameos, I've been rocking Scorpion. I rock Serena just because she looks cool. I haven't really messed Sub-Zero. I like Sub-Zero as a cameo, but I haven't really messed with any other than that. Like, I'm not using them to full capacity right now. Like, I know, like Kung Lao, like you said, he has the spin. That's really good for like also popping up and extending combos. I haven't done as much stuff with that yet to like extend them.
That's fair.
But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at on those. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Before you go,
are
you going to do a ranking later? Like, are you going to rank the story or?
I can. We can do that later. That's fine if you want.
Where did you like the story? Like, were you a big fan?
Actually, let me go ahead and do it now. Let me do it now. The story was fine. I didn't dislike the story. Don't get me wrong. It's just, you know what? Let's say this right now. Let's get this out of the way for the sake of time. Comparing this game to MK11, MK11 is like a 10 out of 10 for me, and MK1 is like an 8. And for me, the reasons for that are this: I enjoy the combat and the speed of that combat in Mortal Kombat 11 more. I enjoyed the character models. Actually, the character models I like for both games, so that's not fair to say. But I like the way that the combos in Mortal Kombat 11 more, and I liked feeling of it. The feeling of each Mortal Kombat is different, and any Mortal Kombat fan will tell you the same thing. And maybe this one, it's hard to judge this right now because I understand that this is this is pre updates that we're going to get, DLCs and all that. So it's hard to judge it because it's not a full game. If we're being honest, it's not a full game. We don't have all the characters. We don't have all the costumes we're going to get. We don't have all the palettes that we're going to get. It's not smooth yet for tournament play, but it will be. And I think that once this game, it's like makeover essentially with the updates and all the characters and all the palettes we're going to get, this game is probably going to be a 9.95 for me. Mortal Kombat 11, day one was a 10, and it just stayed a 10 with all of the extra shit that it added. This one has problems. Like, fighting game problems. Nothing's perfect, but this one has like the loading errors. I don't know if you've come into these. These are only problems that I have seen. I'm not speaking for anything anybody else has seen online or whatever.
I don't think I've had any errors. And watch, I say that, and then tonight if I play, I'm gonna have errors.
Yeah,
like, watch it.
The game is slow in general. I wish it was a little faster.
Like the
it
combat
has some loading
speed?
errors for me. The combat speed is slower in general, yes. And the loading is slower too. Like when you load up the menu and stuff, some of the stuff just takes a while to load. And I'm not complaining about that so much. I just know. the sound effects cut out for me sometimes. Like when I'm in invasion mode, sometimes the sound effects straight up cut out. So if I'm hitting people, you don't even hear it.
I wonder if
You
you
don't
have a
hear
bad
any of those
install.
sounds.
I haven't dealt with any of that.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it's happened at least 3 times to me. And I've every time it happens, I'm like, what the hell? And those are just like playing problems, like game like stuff that's wrong with the game in general that I'm sure is going to get patched. So I'm not too because the game's only been out for a week.
Not even
For
that.
people who
Well, I mean,
pre-ordered it, if you pre-ordered the game, it's been out for a
Yeah.
week. If you haven't pre-ordered it, it's only been out for a couple days. So with that said, at the time of this recording, that is, there are a lot of fatalities in garbage. I've noticed, and that sucks. It sucks when you play a Mortal Kombat game that doesn't have good fatalities. Last time I played an MK game that had shit fatalities was, I think, Armageddon, because that's the one where you have to create your fatality kind of thing, and it just wasn't great. But that's a problem for me. And I already talked about gaining the XP for your cameo characters and how much of a grind that is. That really takes away from the game to me because it's real slow. And to level them up, that's how you get their extra fatalities. That's how you get their brutalities that you can use. That's how you get their extra costumes and palettes and shit. Like, I want to level them up a little faster. So, because I mean, they're an extra. So it sucks that it takes so long to level them up. And 2 other things I'm going to complain about and be done with that and then start talking about the shit that I really like. Some of the opening dialogue in this game doesn't hit like MK11. Granted, before I just said this game isn't complete yet. It's not finished. We don't have all the characters. So maybe that's why some of the dialogues don't hit. And you only get those dialogues in certain areas of the game. So like an invasion, there's no opening dialogue. You just go straight into the fight. Now, on one hand, that's kind of dope because you just get into the fight. On the other hand, I really like those opening dialogues. That's something about MK11 that made me never want to skip because I liked it so much.
I skipped a lot.
But here
of them.
you don't get
after
them.
a while. After I heard most of them, I started just skipping them.
That's fair to say. I get that. The other complaint about, I've never heard about this before with an MK game, so this is odd for me, and it's going to be weird for Sin. But one of the most annoying parts of this whole game for me has been test your might.
Test your might's been a pain in the ass. I've failed that so much.
Dude, what the hell? Test
like,
your might
I'm used to pressing it and then hitting it, but instead it'll will overshoot it so much, and I'm like, I don't know. The first time I did it, I probably failed it 3 times in a row, and I was like, what the shit is happening?
Y'all, everybody listening to us, watching us right now, if you haven't played, you have played the game, test your might is ass in this game. I can't stand test your might in this game. And y'all are used to me complaining about some shit like, Halloween and all that stuff. You guys are used to that, but like, this isn't even me like being Christian for the podcast. Like, I literally hate test your might. Every time it comes up, I'm like, it's so annoying in this one. But with the problems and dislikes, there's some things I really like about this game that I wanted to get into. So you guys know I actually like the game. I'm not just shitting on it. This game is replayable as fuck. God damn. As soon as I beat the story, I was like, I want to play that again. Like, it's fun. It's actually fun as hell to play. So I really like that. Oh, one more dislike. I forgot.
Oh, my God.
Tanya is really annoying. Tanya is really in this game. Not because she's like OP or something. She has one move that really sucks that hits you like 7 times. It's annoying. But like, her model is, I don't really like it that much. It's not like she's like ugly or anything. It's just weird. It doesn't feel like Tanya, and I don't know if I like it. I do like her in the story though, and her relationship with Melina. I love all that. That shit's great. And Melina in this game, my favorite out of any Melina's. I love this Melina so much. The story version of her, just playing her in general. I already love Melina. I just like her. If you're a Melina fan, this game will make you like her even more. And if you're not a Melina fan, maybe this game will turn you around. I'll say. But back to the stuff that I really... There's so many things in this game. There's plenty to do. Like all the modes. You got the towers you got to get through. You got the story you got to get through. You got invasion you got to get through. Invasion's different every 45 days. I love one thing, Sin, that I wanted to talk about earlier, but I didn't want to overplay my hand. So let me take a sip of water.
Listeners, I also want to apologize. Christian keeps cutting in and out. There was, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, there was technical issues. I don't know what's going on today. Everything's hating us apparently, but he does cut in and out some, so I do want to apologize about that. And yeah, just want to throw that out there.
Guys, I'm so sorry that I'm cutting in and out.
It's not bad. Every now and then though, like you'll like, especially I feel like when you go to say a name, for some reason it's like timing. You'll be like, one person I really love is. And then she's just amazing, and we're like, God. So it's been goofy.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I mean,
I hear you.
We're hearing like most of it. It's just it cuts. It's I don't know what's going on today with it. For some reason, our connection hates us today. Apparently,
it does. And I'm also getting super excited talking about it. So maybe I should like slow it down a little bit so that I can enunciate a little bit.
No, I mean, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there for those listening. Like I said, we try to do this live. And we kept having issues, so we're like, all right, no live. We'll just do it like we normally do, and then we've still had some issues, and it's just one of the things. Every now and then it happens. We have, I don't know, whatever. We're here, though. We out here, and we appreciate you listening. Okay, continue. First off, can I say I love the story? I love the story.
I really like this. I didn't love the story, but I really liked the story.
I was engrossed. I liked the changes were different, obviously, because I'm a creature of habit, so I was like, this is really weird, like the Sub-Zero Scorpion thing, or like this is weird. The throwback to a lot of stuff like Kuai Liang getting his eye slashed, I was like, oh, yes. Or just there was so much stuff like that they addressed that I was like, yes. So fans of the old game, as well as Johnny voice lines. He mentions Alien and Predator, which both have had cameo appearances or been guest characters. There's a lot of stuff referencing back to different things within the Mortal Kombat universe. Even Liu Kang, at the very beginning, whenever Johnny is arguing with everybody, and Liu Kang says enough and kind of erupts in fire, that's a throwback to the movie when Raiden says enough and like has electricity go all over him. So I mean, I love the fact that they do that a lot. And as the game progressed, even the last chapter, my wife is actually on chapter 3 now. She'll be playing more tonight. And I said, play chapter 15 twice. Just do it. And it's going to be so fun. Like, just trust me, it's going to be so damn fun. One thing it is different in this game to me that has not been, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to word this. So I would say the last 3 games, the final boss was petty as hell. So petty and so annoying to fight that you would almost have to resort to being petty sometimes to beat him just to be done. I didn't feel that with this one at all. Like, I'm not going to like go into all of it, but like, I didn't feel that way with this one at all. Like, it wasn't the super annoying Shao Kahn or Kronika with all her bullshit, like from MK11. So it was different in that aspect, but it was still a ton of fun. Mm-hmm. But I love the story, and I can't like she's playing through it again, and I'm excited to watch it again.
One thing that I really enjoy about this game is when you play Invasion, you get coins for different things to spend, so you don't have to spend your money. Like they did tell us, I will say, NetherRealm lied to us. They totally told us that there weren't going to be microtransactions in this game, and there's 100% microtransactions. Now you don't have to join. You don't have to purchase those. You don't have to buy those things with your real money. However, there are certain costumes that you can get in.
Wait, didn't they say there's not pay to win? That's what they said. I don't think they said
not pay to win. I thought that they said there aren't microtransactions in their last.
I know Derek said there is no pay to win for like Invasion and all. Like you just play the game.
Okay, well that is correct. There is no pay to win for that. You do pay. To get
for cosmetic
extra,
stuff.
Yeah, and the cosmetic stuff that you can pay for is so from what I've seen so far, because it changes every 45 days. Like I said, I'm sorry, it changes every few days. It's been pretty dope so far. I really like it. But there's seasonal content that you can purchase for whichever season you're in with the invasion. So this first one is Sub-Zero, and I'm sorry, Scorpion, and I'll talk more about that here in a bit because I have some leaked information I want to give you guys as well, if you're up for it. But before that, you're going through the invasion, and the final boss is Scorpion. I haven't gotten there yet. I highly doubt. I'm being honest with y'all. I probably won't make it to Scorpion because I don't have the time to play the game the way I want to get there. And also, Invasion isn't really that easy. There are some parts of Invasion that are really hard. There are towers that you go to, and each tower has its own like thing you got to go through. So like some of the towers, it's like you got to fight Melina 4 different times. And there was one I just did. Sin, you're about to do this too because you're at the park. But I had to fight Sub-Zero, and I always lose against Sub-Zero. I don't care if somebody's playing Sub-Zero, if it's a computer playing Sub-Zero, if it's whatever. I always lose to Sub-Zero in this game, and it's
interesting.
Weird. Yeah, but this time around, it's a boss, right, for the invasion, and you fight him 3 times. You have to fight him once, and by the way, you can't fucking die. You only get 1 health bar. He has 3. So you fight him the first time, and he gets, you know how the people in the towers get like where they have our little, they turn blue and you can hit them. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But aside from that, when you beat him first round, they give him a free hit on you. He creates this ice spear while the game is loading, and when it says fight, then he throws it immediately. So you can block it. It does chip damage, or you can dodge it. You could duck under it, but it while the game is loading. So you have to be ready for it. And I didn't know this the first time going in. So he just threw the shit at me and hit me in the face, and then started a whole combo with that.
Made Christian so mad he froze up. I have not experienced him yet. That sounds fun. I just did today on stream. I actually played against Katana. Can't remember what they called her, but she was annoying. Pretty much same thing. You would fight her. You had to beat her like 3 times. First 2 times you actually fought. Well, actually no. First 2 times you had to beat her 4 times. Sorry. The first 2 times you fight her normal, and then like she gets a little tougher, and then on the 3rd phase, she actually throws up like these little projectiles that come up from the ground, like almost like the Shang Tsung like fireballs. And then she also shoots stuff like across, and it will just deplete your health if you don't have the right like talisman on and stuff, and you're not careful. And then you fight her a last time, and she just like lays into you. So that was really annoying, and I was actually rocking Kenshi, and she was just beating the dog shit out of me, and it was making me mad. And I swapped to Havoc, and just beat the piss out of her. It made me feel better. I guess it was something to do, because someone in chat said something about blood. Had something to do with like a blood character. So there's definitely different characters that do better against different ones. But I'm sure Sub-Zero I'm sure that'll be a blast. Those have been challenging. Other than that, the fights really haven't been too bad in Invasion so far. I say that and I'm probably gonna get a really dumb one, but I can see them being petty with the different modifiers. Obviously, like the block and the armor thing can be annoying. But for the most part, it hasn't been too awful bad. I've been kind of just rolling through it and just trying to unlock. I'm just trying to like get through it, get the seasonal stuff, unlock, level up, do all that. And also it's giving me practice. It's allowing me to like really just get practice with like Kenshi and Havoc and different ones. And unlock cameos and level up my account and stuff, because your actual account level, your profile level does not level up in the story. It does not level up in this local versus. You will not level up anything through them. It only levels up through Invasion and the towers. The towers is the only way you can like really level it. I'm sure you can level it online too, but story and local, like if you just wanted to sit there, like if me and Christian were in person and wanted to play against each other, we would not really gain anything level wise from it.
To off the thought that I was before I had a technical issue, Scorpion gives himself ice armor that's not even in the game, and he keeps it for half of the round, and you literally don't do any damage to him until that armor is
You mean
gone.
Sub-Zero?
That's the part of the boss. Yeah, I said Scorpion. I meant Sub-Zero. Sorry. But yeah, he gives himself ice armor, and it stays on there for so many hits, and you don't do damage to him. It's
Speaking of Scorpion, there is something I've been wondering. So, since Kuai Liang is Scorpion, what are we going to do with Hanzo? Where's he going to come from? Is he going to appear?
Hanzo will most likely a new that either Bihan trains or Kuai Liang trains. It's going to be one of the two for the next game.
I bet it's not. I don't think he's going to be under Bihan. Someone was saying something about Noob. Noob is totally a possibility with Bihan, especially with Quan Chi being here and stuff. Like, that's 100% a possibility. Which could bring Frost to be under Bihan, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you could have Frost as like Bihan's like right hand person, and then you could have Hanzo as Kuai Liang's right hand in future. So I mean, I don't know. The reset is good though. I like the possibilities we have for different things. I really do. And Christian went back to NetherRealm again. Christian is having all kinds of issues, so I do apologize about that. But we're starting to get low on time. Like I said, I personally love the story. I'm enjoying Invasion. It is grindy. The cameo, it does take a while to level up. I'm excited to start playing against people. I know everyone's excited to start doing like King of the Hill, stuff like that. I've got a lot of labbing to do. I need a lot of practice. I am figuring out stuff. I'm usually figuring out on the fly in Invasion, which is possibly not the best way to go about it. But while I'm doing these fights anyways, I'm like, could I string this? What if I did this move with this? And then did this to pop up and blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm like playing it out. And then usually I'm talking to chat about it. So come to kick.com/IamSinister to talk about Mortal Kombat. We are doing that. And we are going to plan some community nights. I would also like to not only do community fight nights on my channel, but I would also, a Sippin With Sin battle would be fun. It would definitely be fun. Hopefully we can get Christian on fight nights anyways with just the channel in general. But yeah, it's I'm super stoked for it. So far, I've really, really loved Mortal Kombat 1. I've really enjoyed it. I've had a good time with it. It's been good enough that I haven't wanted to play anything else, and I just want to keep getting better and better at it. I want to keep practicing. I've started unlocking some of the towers. So far, time of recording this, the classic towers, I've seen endings, the arcade ending for Havoc, Reptile, Sindel, Kenshi,
Which
Johnny, Natara. I did Natara so I could have her out of the way, so I wasn't mad later. Because I was trying to get some of the ones I knew I wouldn't like out of the way. But I've knocked those out. I would break that up. Like, I'll play Invasion for a while, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go do a couple towers just to break it up. But that's kind of what
I think I'm going to do the towers last because I'm having a lot of fun with Invasion, even though it's super annoying and grindy. But I also want to get as close as I can to the Scorpion boss fight, because if you do all of that, you get super cool Scorpion shit that I want. Because like I said, in this game, I like Scorpion more than Sub-Zero, which never happens. One thing I wanted to say real quick, Sin, is I miss the old Raiden. I'm not going to lie. I actually really like the old Raiden more, and his voice never.
What about his
the new Raiden's fine.
His whatchamacallit? Like his voice in this one. Like the not voice, shit, you got me sidetracked. The cameo from the old Raiden coming in with the voice and everything.
I did love that.
That was cool. There's a lot of really cool moments in the game. Like, there was a lot of moments I was like, oh, damn. So, I mean, again, NetherRealm to me is... And I like Street Fighter, and I know there's a big Tekken fan base, and I've never been a huge Tekken fan, but Street Fighter, or Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm storytelling and the way they have had this story go on now, to me, they've elevated their game since MK9. Other MK games are amazing, but at MK9... through the Injustices, they just started like hitting their stride. Like they were just pumping out fantastic stories, just great games, content for them. Like they were just doing really good things. And I am, yes, a huge NetherRealm fanboy, but the story to me in NetherRealm games and Mortal Kombat games or Injustice, like this, I'm not just limited to Mortal Kombat, are just light years above other fighting games to me.
I agree. And I will say one thing that is, I've hit on this earlier, but one thing that's missing from this particular NetherRealm game, you remember in MK11, like for an example, with Spawn, right? If you beat a match with Spawn and he had that really cool
I know why you
outro.
keep cutting out.
Why's that?
Because you got something in your mouth. That MK11 dick.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I had to. This guy keeps bringing up, he's like, MK11. Look, listen, you know, MK11, you just take one of those ones off, Christian. You got MK1. There you go. You happy.
You're right. You're right.
Okay. What are you missing? Please tell me.
you remember the intro and outro cinematics that you would get? So like for an example with Spawn, if you want a match, then he would like have his outro where he would like perch
Yes.
down
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Malbosia would come out and shit.
Yes.
I don't get anything like that in this game, and I missed that. With that said, that was one of the things I wanted to say earlier that I couldn't put into words correctly, but I just thought about it now. But if you don't mind, I'd like to get into like some spoiler leak
Okay.
territory if you're
We're
cool with it.
running low on time. Again, listeners, apologize about the tech issues. I don't know what the deal is today. Things are acting crazy on Christian's end and stuff, and we're pushing through, though, so we do apologize. Thank you for listening, and, yeah, we're running low, and I guess, is that the final thing for MK, is your spoiler leak stuff?
Yeah, it is.
Is it the Kombat Pack 2?
Yes, it's that and some more stories.
If it's Kombat Pack 2, and what you're saying is what I think you're going to say, because I actually have no clue, listeners, what he's going to say. I haven't heard this from him yet. There was a spoiler, and I'm just going to say it was called by us months ago, about a certain horror character that would make sense to be in Mortal Kombat. I'm just going to throw out there that this podcast said this shit way in advance, and if these leaks are true, then called it.
We'll get into it. I'm going to talk about, to keep this quick, I'm going to condense what I wrote down into like just a little chunk so it's easy. But there was a leak because people that data mine this shit out of the game, obviously. And there is a DLC story that we're supposed to get, kind of like the MK aftermath. It's the same time we get a post-credit scene at the end of this game where you see one of the Havocs, right? Chaos Havoc is what I've been calling him. You see Chaos Lord Havoc show up, and he's talking about how the death was so cool and so awesome. That's his story. It continues. So he invades the realm that Liu Kang built, right? That we've been playing in the game the whole time. They invade, him and his like posse invades, and they start fucking shit up. And to not give you guys the entirety of the game, because I read the entire script that got leaked. One big thing that happens, which makes
And we lost Christian. Christian has disappeared yet again. So I really want to say, I don't know what he's going to say. I haven't heard all this stuff, but I have heard the Kombat Pack 2 was leaked. And if I can remember off the top of my head, I'm going to try my best to remember some of the characters. The ones that I remember are T-1000, I think. T-1000, Noob Saibot was another, and Ghostface. Ghostface was, those are the three that I think I remember. I'm not sure if that's in his notes on what he's seen or what he's seen from like the leakers. I know there was a bunch more that was data mined. I saw something about that. But Ghostface, I can 100% see, and we called that months ago. We talked about it. Potential, characters and guest appearances who would make sense, and Ghostface was definitely up there on one of those. I can't wait for. We didn't talk about Ermac. Ermac, I have so many questions about Ermac and what happened with him in this story. It was definitely different and interesting, and I wish we could have talked about it. We're definitely running low on time, so we'll have to. And the tech issues keep piling up. We'll have to probably address it next week. Because I'm sure Christian will want to go in depth on it. But the Ermac stuff everything's different, obviously, for the most part. There's definitely canon events that keep the MK stuff going along, but they've changed a lot. Obviously, new timeline. And the Ermac thing was not what I expected to happen and to go on. So I'm interested to see how all that continues to play out and what goes on with that. But yeah, the leaks. Oh, here he comes back from NetherRealm. Christian, I'm gonna need you.
Coming back from the NetherRealm. I know, dude. I have no idea.
So I was telling them the three that I can think of off the top of my head that I saw through the data miner thing, and I remember there was a lot more. I didn't read the script, so I don't even know what all you have or what you're pulling your sources. What I saw, T-1000 I think was a character or something like that. So one of the Terminators, right?
I'll go into it. Tell me the other three. The other two.
That one, Noob Saibot. and Ghostface. Are the three that I'm thinking of right now, but you're going to say them, I'm going to be like, oh, shit, yeah, I forgot about that one. But those are the three right now that are popping in my head, like, but I didn't really, like, screenshot or go in depth. I just kind of was like, data miner, oh, names, okay, and then skipped over it. I was like, I don't want to know right now. Like, I know Combat Pack 1 slaps, so you already got me for, like, one DLC pack. I'm fine. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't talk about Ermac, but I think we should save it for next week because I feel like that's going to be kind of, I don't know. I feel like we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
I mean, we could absolutely go down a rabbit hole for him.
So we'll address the Ermac stuff. Like I said, it's not, there's just changes like everything. I don't know. We'll talk about, we'll have another week of the game, so I'm sure we'll have more thoughts on it. But let's go back into his leaks. Christian, continue.
Yeah, did you guys, before I start, did you hear what I was saying about the DLC story that's coming?
Yes, part of it.
With Scorpion's wife and all that?
I don't know if we heard Scorpion. I don't remember. All right, Scorpion's wife DLC story.
Yeah, so Chaos Havoc, Lord Havoc that we see in the first game comes to this new realm, and he kills Scorpion's wife because he had just gotten married, and this is Kuai Liang's Scorpion. And that is one of the reasons why in invasion mode currently, the boss is Scorpion because he's jumping from realm to realm to find a version of his wife. And in every version, every realm that he goes to, every world, he is either dead or married to his brother. So he's pissed.
Okay.
With that said, though, those DLC characters, I'm going to go through those real quick. Noob Saibot was one. Irax is one. There is a 3-character combo because it's not clear which character it is. So it's between Kotal Khan and Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, you broke up. Kotal Khan, what in Conan?
He-Man.
Okay, so Kotal Khan, He-Man, or Conan the Barbarian?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Conan the Barbarian, but it could be either of those characters.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The next one was Ghostface, like we both mentioned. There is an unnamed girl that is also going to be a DLC character. I don't know who this woman is, so we'll see. Another woman that we're going to get would be Jade, because she's noticeably not in the game, but she's mentioned a few times. We will also get a DLC character of Cassie Cage, which I'm excited. We will also get 2 more DLC, which you named just a T-1000. So another Terminator, which is awesome. I'm excited to see that. And that character, Zleek, also voiced by Robert Patrick. So I'm excited for that.
Interesting.
Robert Patrick, for those of you who don't know, is the actor who played the character of the T-1000. He was also Peacemaker's
Which is the
dad.
Liquid Terminator, for those that aren't sure.
Yeah, Liquid Metal. And there's also a leak from the script that shows the other DLC character, Peacemaker, that has a dialogue with the T-1000 that says, damn, he says, fuck, you look just like my dad. And the T-1000 answers. So it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait.
Have they confirmed Cena's voice in Peacemaker? Yeah, they've confirmed that, right? Cena's voice in him.
And Cena's voice.
Have we confirmed Anthony Starr for Homelander yet? I haven't seen it.
We have not confirmed that.
God,
that is not confirmed.
Come on, NetherRealm. Don't let me down.
The character that we got leaked is the last character that we got leaked was Kung Jin from 9.
Speaking of like casting them, they got straight up shit on in part of this game.
Who did?
Cassie, Takeda, Kung Jin, Jackie. They got shit on in part of this game.
Jackie was actually in the game at the last level.
That's what I'm talking about. They got shit on in this game. It's all of them. They all run down, like all of the second generation fighters from MKX. Mm-hmm. They run down, and Katana just shits on every single one of them like it ain't nothing. Just done. It was pretty crazy. I was like, damn. They went their cameo, like their little moment.
Yeah. Guys, that's all we have time for. So I wanted to go ahead and move on to the last call before my computer blows itself up.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking Mortal Kombat. We'll talk more Mortal Kombat next week. But now, for this episode, through all the tech issues and everything that's went on today, it's time that we
pass the whiskey.
And we're going to need it for this episode and this edition of Last Call. So get your
whiskey
As we go into the last call question, Christian, what you got for us this week?
Last week, your wife actually asked us a question, which is, what is your favorite vampire movie?
Yeah.
This year, I have the question. What
This
is
year?
your favorite
This year? We're doing it this year?
movie? This episode, this podcast episode
Christian's
this year.
brain
I'm
is
asking
fried
you.
right now.
It is, man. I am stressing out. What's your favorite werewolf movie of all time?
Ooh. Wolfman. The old Wolfman. I'm going to go with that. Top of my head.
Okay. That's a great
Lon
answer.
Chaney Jr., Wolfman, from 1941, 43, something like that. I can't remember.
That's not a bad answer at all. I respect that because one, it shows actually a fan of the Wolfman, which is dope. And two, that's a good ass movie.
Mm-hmm. Black and white. It's something about those black and white movies. I love them. Yes, they're cheesy in parts, but God, I love those movies so much. I'm going to say that off the top of my head. Other movies that popped up, I know you're not a huge fan. I do really like the Benicio del Toro Wolfman. I watch it every year.
I like the movie. It's just, it doesn't air, but I do like that movie.
I do like that one. Cursed is another really good one. I enjoy.
Cursed? Wow. Okay.
My favorite part of Cursed, literally, can you guess what my favorite part of Cursed is? I love it. Every time it comes, every time I die. Is
it the part where she calls her fat as a werewolf? She flicks her off?
Yes. The werewolf literally in the window like comes back and it's like, and just flips him off. I'm like, yes. I love it. I'm trying to think what else. Werewolf. What's yours? Go ahead.
So this movie, this werewolf is actually the movie that made me love werewolves, and it solidified my love for werewolves over vampires. And it's a movie that's not really that good. Like looking back, it's not the best movie, but when I was a kid, I loved this movie. I rented it constantly.
You say like Skinwalkers or something?
No.
Okay.
It's a movie that a lot of people haven't even seen. Came out in 1996. It's only an hour and 20 minutes. It's called Bad Moon. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Yep. It's called Bad Moon.
Okay.
And I love that movie because that was the first werewolf movie that I had seen as a kid that had a bipedal werewolf that had like the straight up wolf head and everything. Because like I hadn't seen The Howling yet. I had to go back and watch The Howling and then all the sequels and then realize like where that came from. But my favorite werewolf movie of all time, off the top of my head, is definitely Bad Moon from '96.
Wow, no American Werewolf in London, love?
No, I do. I love that movie.
That's
it's
a great movie.
It's fantastic, but it's not my favorite. And my favorite is nostalgia, bro. Like the first one I saw was Bad Moon, and then when I realized I loved vampires, I started going into Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and searching for werewolf movies, and that's when I got American Werewolf in London, and then in Paris I got the Wolfman, and then all those sequels that came out that aren't nearly as good. The Benicio del Toro one, which is just not as doesn't age well. And there's another one that's about a blind guy that fights werewolves, and what's that movie called? I have to search it up. Because that's another one of my absolute favorites. Oh man, I gotta find it or I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
I don't know what you're talking about. Top of my head.
It's called Late Phases. It came out in 2014. If you haven't seen Late Phases, go watch it. Sin, you should. If you haven't seen Late Phases, you 100% have to see it. It's free right now on Tubi. So if you have Tubi, which is also free, just go watch it there with the ads. Like it's 100% worth it.
Okay.
It takes place in a retirement home. It's an old blind dude in a retirement home, and like some of his neighbors are werewolves, bro. Like that's the best way I could describe it to you, and you got to watch it.
Okay. All right. Werewolf movies. Listeners, again, apologies about the technical issues, but we would love to know, what's your favorite werewolf movie? Spooky season is approaching time this episode drops. Well, we've already started kind of celebrating, but it is right at the time where the spooky season will be starting. It's time to start horror movies, and we're gonna ramp up the spooky content. But we appreciate you all listening. Let us know what you think about Mortal Kombat. Let us know your favorite werewolf movie. We would love to hear it. We'd love to hear any comments, or if you'd like your last call question to be featured on an episode of the podcast, join the gilded.gg/Sinister pack in the application, put from the pod, and there's a section dedicated to the last call question, as well as Sinister Tales. Put your Sinister Tales so we have them for spooky season. We can go over stuff that you may have experienced yourself or things you would like to share for us to talk about and go over and give our thoughts on. Do all that in the Gilded. Or you can also hit us up on socials. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIN with Sin. Drop us a line there, follow, comment. It's a great way to get in touch and submit those questions and those stories there. We would greatly appreciate it. You can find new episodes of the podcast every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on all audio platforms, pretty much. Anchor, Spotify, Google, Apple, all that stuff. Overcast. Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Central Time. Rate it 5 stars. Subscribe to it, follow it, whatever. Show it love, share it with a friend, pass it along, help the community grow, get us more listeners, keep spreading the good word. We appreciate it very, very much. Submit those reviews so we get more reviews so Christian can go read over them and do whatever he's going to do. We don't know. He's going to do some kind of nonsense. So submit those reviews. If you want to watch the video version and see our faces and see Christian disappear into the nether realm frequently this episode, youtube.com/IamSinister on my personal YouTube. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central, the video version of this goes live. Thumbs up it, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Go show us love. You can comment over there and let us know what you think about the episode or talk about different things in there. And as far as me, you can find me on my personal socials, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. IamSinister TV on all of those. Go drop a follow, say hello. I would appreciate it. You can find me streaming at kick.com/IamSinister. You can also find me on twitch.tv/IamSinisterTV, and you can find me at facebook.com/IamSinisterTV. And that's where the lovely folks can find me. Christian, where can everybody find you and your dreadlocks and your Jason Lives shirt?
You guys can find me, my dreadlocks, and my Jason Lives t-shirt that glows in the dark on Instagram, at my personal Instagram, which is Vin and Ink, all one word. You can also find me on the TikToks. My name, Christian Vincent. My full name is on there. You guys can find me there doing reviews for horror movies, horror books, and then talking about cleaning things as well. That happens every now and then. That's pretty much the only places you guys can really find me right now. You can also find me on my personal horror podcast, TikTok, and all that stuff at Horrorverse Pod. All the socials. Come say hi, say what's up. I'm on the X or Twitter all the time. And that's where you guys can find me. That's pretty much the only place you can find me, because having all these social medias is so hard to keep up with.
It does. It sucks. While we have a second, huge shout out to Yobi. I see you tweeting out about the YouTube video and the podcast in the weeks, and then also commenting on YouTube. Yobi, you're a real one. We appreciate you, brother, and thank you so, so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode. We apologize again about technical issues. If you were watching on a live stream, we're sorry that you didn't get to partake in the live. Things just happened, and it didn't all line up today, and stuff was breaking. And then it happened off stream too. But if you made it this far, thank you for bearing with us through the issues. We do really appreciate it. And if you're coming from the live stream and wanting to hear what we were talking about, since you only got a tiny taste of it, thanks for coming and checking it out. And we appreciate it. But we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for being here. Thanks for bearing with it. It's time that you go do something else. You don't have to go home. But you got to get the hell up out of here. It's time for Christian to shut the doors and lock them down tight until next week.
Guys, thank you so much for sticking with us throughout the technical difficulties. We really appreciate it. At the time of this recording next week, I should be able to tell you guys my first initial thoughts of the game Lies of P. I plan on picking that up as soon as I can. But with that said, guys, you got to leave. I'm going to leave you with words I always leave you with every episode. If you haven't heard these before, listen very carefully, because they might save your life. If you know them, say them with me right now. Those words are: don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.